Hi, my name is Eunice. Welcome to my video presentation for Maths Assessment 2. The mathematical concept that I'm focusing on is children able to recognize and identify and count the numbers. The age group I'm targeting is children who is at the age of 3 years old. According to the EYLF, children are confident and involved learners. In 4.3, one of the outcomes, children transfers and adapt that they have learned from one context to another. Welcome to my play-based activities video. As you can see, I have created a pencil cardboard with the number 1 to 6 on it. Here's the big dice that I have prepared earlier. And now, let's pretend this doll here is a 3-year-old student for modeling purposes. Now onto how the game works. Well, children will start by picking up the dice and throwing it. When it is rolled, the child will be required to count how many dots are on the dice. 1, 2, 3. After that, they will have to find the number on the pencil cardboard, which is right here. Then they will quickly jump or run and step on the number. Good job! Would you like to play it again? Yes, I want to do it again. Okay, then go for it. They start to pick up the dice and roll the dice again. Then they will count and find the number again. This game can be played as many times as they want, and it can be more than one child as they take turns playing it. How does children develop maths and numeracy skills? When children are born, they already start to develop this type of skills as they love to touch, see, or hear the things around them because they're so curious and want to explore them. When babies are born, they already start to expose to maths and numeracy as they explore numbers in different ways, from listening to music, songs, or rhythm that teaches them about numbers. As their parents read books for them, such as the 3 Little Pigs, that associate them with numbers 1, 2, and 3, and able to understand the time sequence on when is the time they need to have a shower. When they hear the water splashing and running, then they will know that it's time for shower time. As they crawl, they can recognize the space around them, whether is it big or is it small. Furthermore, they start to differentiate the sizes and realize that everyone around them, including their parents and teachers, is taller and bigger than them, while they are quite really small. As they slowly start to grow a bit older, around 1 to 2 years old, which is toddler age, they start to learn how to walk and hold objects properly. And that time they already able to count things with number, but not so fluently yet, and still might miss or skip some number, but it's okay because they're still in the learning process. Slowly and slowly, they can be able to improve. And also, they can start to identify and match shapes in their surrounding life and able to see different types of patterns in their daily life, such as in the house, in the garden, park, and so on. They have patterns everywhere around them. During this time, they will start to explore some measurement as they start to play with water and sand while pouring and emptying them from containers again and again. And through this is their way of learning and explore maths and numeracy. As they grow much older a bit, around 3 to 4 years old, which is a preschool age, then they can be able to help their parents with chores. During the process of helping their parents, they can learn different types of skills such as literacy, numeracy, problem solving, communication, and so on. But now let's just focus on maths and numeracy skills first. Children at this age love to help their parents on house chores, especially when their parents are cooking. During the preparation of cooking time, children can help their parents such as stirring the soup, pouring the milk, measuring the water in a measuring jug, which allowed the children to expose to measuring and estimating how much water or milk do they need. Maybe during this age, they can start to learn some simple board game that teach them about maths and numeracy, which make maths a fun subject to learn through this type of game. Furthermore, they can count how many shells are in the beach, or how many leaves are on the grass, or how many pencils they have, and know how to sort objects with the same color, or same patterns, or same size, or even same shapes. Lastly, they can start to be able to recognize that numbers value and the number words applies the same meaning. When they are around 5 to 6 years old, they started to learn new things such as the concept of time. What time is it now? Is it in the morning or is it in the afternoon? How many days are in a week? Since they're already able to recognize and identify shape, now is the time they start to draw some simple shapes such as triangle, square, rectangular, or circle. Then slowly they will start to learn how to read the basic math. As the educator or their parents let them play treasure hunts game, they start to read and understand which way they need to go. Where are they now? How many steps do they need to take to be able to reach their destination or to find the things that they are looking for? Through the treasure hunt game, children start to use all the numberings, counting, shape that they have learned and start to apply it when they're playing this type of games. Lastly, by the time of this age, children can recognize number up to 20 and able to use two hands to count instead of one hand. As they start to enter their prep year, which will be at grade 1 to grade 2, they have expanded their knowledge and skills and be able to count to 100 and starting to learn new concepts different from what they have learned before, and which is adding and subtracting. As they have been introduced to plus and minus, they can use the number they have learned before and start to applying adding one number or subtracting one number. Other than adding and subtracting, they can predict patterns, what comes next, what's come before. Once they master this type of skill, then they can start to use these skills and knowledge that they have learned and start to apply it to their real life situation. Beside patterns, they start to learn a bit more complex shapes, which is instead of learning one dimension shape, they start to learn 2 to 3 dimensional shape, such as cone, pyramid, cylinder, and so on. Lastly, they have start to expose to values of coins and be able to recognize them. Jordan Dien is another one of the famous for inventing different types of blocks which teach children about place value. He have taught mathematics by using games, stories, and music in different types of culture. He especially adores the idea of learning should be in a group as they work together and collaborate as they're trying to solve problems that they face. He is mainly focused on how children can learn mathematics. He supports the use of material and it should be a focal point. The beginning stage of learning mathematics is through free play. He even brought it into 6 different stages on the free play, when during the second stage, he sees children able to recognize the pattern of the rule that had been provided in the game. When it reached to the third stage, he expressed children can begin to compare different games that played before. During the fourth stage, they can establish using pictures representation of any object and symbolize a number that can help with their memory. As they move on to the last second stage, which is the fifth stage, they can commence to notice the symbol. And lastly, as they reach to the sixth stage, which is the last one, that's when they begin to use some real mathematical rules. Overall, how is my play-based activity effective in supporting the development of maths and numeracy in 3 years old? It is effective as my children interact with my play-based activities. They are practicing the skills of able to recognize the numbers on the pencil cardboard and develop their counting skills as they count the dot on the dice using their fingers. As they keep playing this game multiple times, they will be able to get used to recognize the numbers and be able to count things in the future. These play-based activities is to let the children reinforce their ability to count and recognize the numbers, figures. During the age of 3, children can identify the numbers as they have learned how to identify them before. With these activities, children can able to practice their maths and numeracy skills where they need to find the numbers on the pencil cardboard as they roll the dice. Children can recognize the shape of the number values compared with objects. For example, the number 2 looks like a duck, or the number 1 looks like a stick or a lollipop sticks. And here is my reference list. Thank you for listening.